I am Neetu Jawle. I'm a life coach. My niche is relationship. My company's name is True Calling. For the last 10 years. I think it was entirely a different story for me when I joined Manan 10 years back. I had joined a session as business, when we used to teach colloquium, and we used to have colloquium classes. So that time it used to not be here. It used to be somewhere in Andheri. Like it's 10 years back, right? Very beginning. I have attended CQ 19, I guess. So I think in the second or third session, Manan saw something. He recognized something in me, and he said, you're meant for something else. Whatever you're doing, it's not your life purpose. He didn't say it explicitly, but he meant something. He was trying to uh, detour me to something else. But when he said something like that, and it immediately clicked something in me, because I was waiting for something for me for a very long time. I think it was a lingering thought for me that something is coming for me. I was in the financial world. I was doing pretty okay, uh, my reason of coming to Manan was my husband wanted to attend the session. He said, let's go together. Okay. So it was not an intentional business coaching, it was more like, let's do something together, because one of his close friends had suggested Manan. So when we came, second or third session, when Manan said, "Okay, look, I think you should. Do you think of life coaching? Do you think you can be a life coach or something?" And it just clicked immediately. And within no time, I felt, yeah, this is what I was looking for. So for me, it was a complete, you know, shift. I dropped everything what I was doing for the last 8 years, and within 3 days, I changed everything, and I started he helped afterwards when I told him, yes, I want to do this, because I didn't know at that time what life coaching is, but I felt, I felt some resonance with it. I felt this is something probably I'm looking for. And I just knew Ritik Roshan had a life coach. That's all. Okay. That was my reference point. Yeah, yeah, that was my reference point of life coach. But I knew this is something familiar, something which I feel resonated with. And when I told him, yes, I think I want to do this, and then he helped me also to look for where I can get the certification done. So with, I think in 3 or 4 days I got my I registered with one of the consultancies, who gave that certificate, and it was an online course for around 9 months to 12 months. So I did that, and I started my work. I actually started from the day one. So it was like, that's what how my journey is like. I got no, I guess the one thing he told me was like, if you intend to change, if you intend to be a coach, then we'll work together. Maybe after 2 years when I start again, then we can do it together. And actually he fulfilled that promise, because exactly after 2 years probably he called me and he said, let's meet. I said, why? Like, let's meet for lunch. He said, no, you come to office, because 2 years back he had told me he's going to make a big office, in 2 years, and we'll work together. So that's how it came to me. And I was already doing workshops, and I had started my work. And it just happened, we happened to meet after quite some time. And I didn't know the office had changed completely when he called me here, and when I saw that everything was changed, and I really liked the place. And ever since I am here working with him only. Like, working with him in the sense I'm doing my work. It's the companies are different. I'm not working for him. We are just together. I operate from the same place. So actually, there were quite a few things which were new to me. Like, I'm not a structured person, but that doesn't mean I don't follow structures. There's something in my head. My structure is in my head generally. Since I have always worked alone, I am not somebody, in financial domain. I was a consultant. I used to travel a lot. There were one or two people who were with me, and it was never a big team, like I'm taking care of big team. So whatever was, it was like a solo thing. It was predominantly me taking the charge. So I used to work initially, just for fun, just for, it was not like a work, initially for few years. Okay, I wanted to keep myself busy, but eventually it became a full time thing. So actually, I didn't know you can actually quote a number and say ki, like, okay, this is my goal and I want to achieve it. And I just, while working with Manan, I just happened to say ki, I want to do this much business, this number in this month. And I think in a week or two, I, yeah, achieved it. And it was not a very conscious way of doing it. I just say, because they told me you give us a number, I gave a number, and it turned out to be exactly the same number after 2 weeks or 3 weeks probably. So, and when I told him, I was very, मतलब ये हो गया है तो इसे क्या हो गया है? I said it, what I had promised, that is what. So why are you not speaking loudly? I did not realize ki what it meant to be, hitting the target, because I never had kept any targets as such. I just believed in the process right from the beginning. I used to work every day, and the output, it was never in my mind. There was no fixed output. So it started kind of refocusing, as like, we can keep a target and we can have something in the mind, to pursue, to follow. I am basically, if I pick up something, I will do it, whether I like it or I don't like it, But if I like it, then it is more like, my work is not like a work to me. It has become a passion. And I would like to thank Manan, because he has been a constant support and constant guiding me eventually for the last 8-10 years. Because whenever I get stuck, I'll ask him. Whenever there is something, I'll share with him, and then he has his own way of telling things, because he understands human mind, I guess. He understands, like, how to talk and what to talk, to whom to talk, basically. Like, it's not very, I am not a very vocal person about things. I used to be very less vocal. So it used to be difficult for him to also understand sometimes, what am I looking at. He used to be very, so he taught me to be a little specific. He taught me to be expressive. He taught me, because while looking at him and by talking with him, initially it used to be very challenging, because I used to not talk much, and he used to wait, bolo bolo bolo. And now finally we have come to a stage where we really, I can ask any question and he's there. Yeah, I think most of the time you know what you're doing. It's so whenever he feels, I need some kind of support or help, he's there. He's all there, always. I think my personal life is much better, because, in a sense, because it's very much balanced, in a way that first half of the day I am at home and I am working, whether I'm working or whether I'm doing something at home, or whether I'm doing some family work, or whatever is personal to me. And I start my client meetings after the second half. So it's a kind of a perfectly balanced work days. Like, all my days are like more or less like that only. Yes, consistency one, perseverance, and hard work. I would say these three things I have picked up from, being working in this domain, working with, in this environment. I have picked it that. Yes, absolutely. Why? Because Generally, we feel motivated when we listen to motivational speakers, but then after a couple of hours or maybe a couple of days, it disappears because there's nobody asking you what you did. There's no accountability, there's no hand holding, because initially it's just a rush, adrenaline rush working. Okay, we feel we know everything, and now we can implement everything. But that's not the case. Even Gen Zs know everything. Knowledge wise, they are much ahead than us. But are they able to act on it, or are they able to take actions on it? Question lies there. What are you doing it about it later? So they will we in Altascorp, I have always seen that accountability part is taken very seriously. The hand holding is there. That's how people move from, they shift from one to another, like, that's how they progress. Because mostly business owners come, they don't have their bosses to, answer. So they have to answer themselves. So then they answer here. So that as a person, I told you, I've not seen any hardworking person like him. Maybe even if he's extremely intelligent, he's a combination of intelligence plus hard work. That's very rare generally. And as a coach, he is relentless. He will be after you till you achieve your goal. He'll make you he'll make you stick to the rules. He'll make you do. He'll be after you, like, like your mom is after you, like your parents are after you. And as a consultant, I don't know much, because I've not experienced that. Yeah, absolutely. Because you are, it becomes real for you. Most of the things which are in our head, like we think we are there, it's more on an assumption basis. But here it's everything is black and white. When somebody asks, it becomes binary, whether you have done it or you have not done it. You can't say I am doing it and I am reaching there, but that is not what it means to hit numbers. You have to actually be there to complete the race. So that is different, and that's what I'm using in my coaching also, because that became a big, tool for me to implement in my own work. Consistency, accountability, and hand holding. These are the three things, we also do on a daily basis. Yes, of course. Why would I have been recommending, to many friends of mine, and I think few of them have come also. They have done some work with Manan. So it's very I think it's very natural for me to recommend her, because I have been supported, I have been taken care of in this domain for a very long time. He has been a constant support for me. Why wouldn't I recommend? It's, and of course not because of like, I know him very well, because he is somebody I have seen the most consistent and most hardworking person. Even if he knows a lot of stuff, but he will always put his 100% when it comes to his people around and to his clients. He'll always give his best, more than what we expect generally. I will say, please do it. He'll be more than happy to receive your call, because he's always there to help people. No, I would like to thank Manan actually. I don't think I would have been here if it would have not been him, right from the first day to till this day. So we had has we have had our share of disagreements as professionals, but I'm really very glad, and very grateful also, that we happened to meet for whatever reasons we met, but it just changed my whole life, and my perception about work, my everything is different now. My ecosystem has changed completely. I don't work. I think I enjoy work. I love my work, and because of him, it has been possible, and I'm still looking forward for it every day after even 10 years of work.